Okay, so today's going to be a good stream. I just got back from Mexico. It's a great time with the family in Cancun, and I'm so excited to come back because all of my computer parts have finally been delivered. The very last piece I was waiting on was a motherboard from NZXT. It's here after a long wait and some FedEx screw ups. It's here. So, in this video, I'm going to go through each one of the parts that I chose, maybe give a little bit of reason why, and talk a little bit about each one. Let me throw the link up to the build list in the chat. Let's see, where was it? I'm going to try to find it on the old video. That I had gone over my part list. Here it is. Copy. Okay, so in the chat you'll see the link to my parts list, and also in the description of this video you'll find Amazon links for each one of the parts if you want to order them yourself. So first and foremost, I want to talk about kind of the purpose of the build. It's a mid to high-end build, and I'm going to be using it for programming and hopefully, if it's strong enough, streaming some video games on Twitch. Borderlands 3 just came out. They have some awesome Twitch integrations, and I think I want to give Twitch a shot. You know, I know I'm here on YouTube right now live streaming, but Twitch has always interested me, and I've never tried it at all, so I'll give that a shot. The second thing to note about this build is that I want it to be like a matte black theme. Everything will be matte black and very like plain and minimal looking. So that's why most of the parts you're going to see are NZXT. Super plain, super minimal, very open case design with the tempered glass to show off the inside. But then, in order to make it look good, I got some great Corsair RAM with some really nice RGB lighting, as well as lighting all over the case and the fans and all that kind of stuff. So what you're going to have is like a matte black backdrop with lighting that really just makes everything pop. I think I'll probably go for just kind of like a very light white or light blue lighting in there to kind of match the room that you see here, and kind of just give a like highlight the pieces inside of the. It's like almost fell out of my chair. So this is the NZXT H500i. As you can see, it's got a power supply shroud on the bottom there, tempered glass side panel so that it shows off everything in the middle. From what I've read reviews, cable management's very good, cooling is very good. We'll see later that I will use this same water cooler. And I like this case because it does a good job of hiding all the cruff, but at the same time, highlighting the important pieces in here. It actually has a vertical GPU mount instead of a horizontal like you see here. So with the graphics card that I got, it looks really slick. It's going to be mounted vertically so you can see kind of like the label and the design of the fans on it. Another awesome thing about this case is that it has USB-C right up there at the top. Sure. So this is actually the top of the case. Regular USB, USB-C, and an aux jack right there. All of my accessories and technology is charged through USB-C today, so all my headphones, my phone, everything, even my laptop. And so having this USB-C right here on the top here is going to make everything awesome. This is shown in white here, but I actually got it in black. Okay, so I talked about this case having a power supply shroud. This is the NZXT E850. It's a fully modular power supply. This is what's going to be providing power to the whole build. Not much to look at, a black box, but it'll do the job. So now moving on to the motherboard. This was the craziest piece. NZXT had announced a Z390 board like a year ago, and then just never said anything else about it on their website. It had said coming soon for ages. Finally, right before my trip to Cancun, it became available. So ordered it, had a bunch of FedEx snafus, but here it is today. So this is the Z390 chipset. It's going to support the processor, the Intel i7 that I got for this. And I know this one has the white shroud over the motherboard, but this is actually the matte black. This is a very unique design. You don't see this with anybody else. Most other manufacturers actually expose the silicon on the motherboard, but this one actually just puts like a thin metal shroud over it that looks so sick. It has two M2 slots for super fast storage. I'm going to put 4 sticks of RAM in here. And that's pretty much it. Feature-wise, my 2 requirements for the motherboard were going to be Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. I'm actually not hardwired, which is a big problem. One day I'll get Ethernet drops in the house, but until then, I want Wi-Fi built right into the motherboard so I don't have to have a card for it. And Bluetooth, most importantly. I want no wires in this setup at all. I'm eventually going to get a new keyboard and a new mouse, completely wireless Bluetooth. My headphones are already Bluetooth, so that should work out pretty well. That's the motherboard. So let's see. Centerpiece here. What's our CPU? I mentioned it earlier. It's going to be the Intel i7 9700K. Now, I know I got the K version, but I don't actually plan on doing any overclocking. Maybe later on down the line. It's something I'm not familiar with. Last PC I built was like 8 years ago, and I was pretty amateur. I don't even think I had a CPU heatsink or cooler at all. I'll have to double check once I tear it apart. But this is going to be the CPU powering this beast. Now, as far as CPU cooling goes, I was smarter this time around. Sticking with the NZXT brand here, I got the Kraken X62 liquid cooler. So this is going to run cool water over the top of my CPU to keep it nice and cool. One of the sweet things about this is that this ring right here is RGB controlled. So a lot of the NZXT products work with this thing called CAM, and that's its RGB controller, among other things. And CAM is going to give me like this sweet place to just set all the RGB lighting on the system from one console. Read good reviews about this. It should do the cooling job. Next up for storage, I went for super fast storage for both my operating system and any of my applications, games, whatever being installed. So the motherboard does have 2 M2 slots. So I went ahead and got 2 M2 drives. One is 500 gigs. That's what I'm going to put the OS on and maybe a couple applications. The next one is 1 terabyte. That's what I'll probably put like my games on, right? That takes up more space. This is the first time I'm trying out M2. Previously, I've just used SSD in the past. So we'll see how these actually compare. But I will say one of the things that I'm noticing with my current computer is CPU spikes and definitely slower load times for the OS. hopefully I'll see like a huge boost in performance with these M2 drives. If I do happen to need extra storage, I'll probably just grab like a 1 or 2 or 5 terabyte external SSD. I don't think I really want to crowd the case with anything else inside of it, like hard drives or whatnot. Now for RGB lighting, the case does come with fans with RGB lighting. The liquid cooler has RGB lights on it, but one of the main sources of lights inside of the case is going to be my RAM sticks. There are 4 DIMM slots on the motherboard, and so I got a 4x8 gig setup for 32 gigs of RAM, and this is the Corsair Vengeance RGB. This is the only thing that won't be controlled through NZXT CAM for lighting, but I love this Vengeance RAM in particular because it's kind of hard to see, but this entire top strip is just one solid strip of light, where there's actually multiple LEDs in here that you can control individually. But what I like about it versus some other brands is that like other brands are broken up by little pieces of like plastic. This is just like an entire illuminated top rail on the DIMM sticks. So that's going to be awesome for making the interior of the case look sick. And finally, the centerpiece of the case, what's really going to bring the build together, I think, especially when we mount it vertically, is the brand new GeForce RTX 2080 Super. This thing looks absolutely sick and performs super well, about as well as the 2080 Ti. Maybe open it a little bit. Yes. Love the look of this graphics card. When I mount this vertically, it's really going to be the highlight and the centerpiece of the entire build. And I might have to do some funky green RGBs to make that pop. So with all that being said and reviewed, I'm actually going to start the build process maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. But by the end of this week, I should have a new computer up and running. I am going to record clips of that from my Google Pixel phone, try to edit it into some kind of video, and then definitely at the end, take pictures of the build, post it on Instagram, social media, stuff like that, really show what I made. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, it's just going to wind up sitting in the corner because that's the most optimal spot for my PC. But I'm looking for new desk setups here in the future to try to showcase the actual case and build more if possible. But anyways, thanks guys for watching. Stay tuned to the channel. I will give you build updates, and once it's all done, I'll definitely give you the run some performance tests and show you the results. So thanks for tuning in. Catch y'all in the next one. Peace.